reports in our year end, right? Salary ordinances, adjustments.
You needing a motion to approve the,
Oh, I'll take a motion now, yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes and the docket and the utility adjustments as presented.
I'll second. John made a motion for the approval of the minutes, claim docket, and utility adjustments. Dave seconded it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 3-0, carried. Alright, old business, emergency sirens and disaster plan.
Could I make a comment about the sirens? Or do we need a motion first and discuss, or?
I guess discuss it now, right?
I think one of the issues that Ken had with it previously was I put the testing would be monthly, and I've now changed it back to quarterly. It's in the, under testing of sirens, in the document, the first sentence there, these tests are 12 o'clock noon on the first Tuesday of each quarter of the year. Police department and or Greene County Dispatch. And then we want to make sure that the March test is conducted in along with the National Weather Service tornado.
When is the March?
It's the first Tuesday.
The
weather, National Weather.
The national is?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
Well, that should fall right with what we're doing then, if we approve, if we would approve it. Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, then if there's any maintenance or repair that needs to be done, they would document it. The enclosure one gives them it just captures the information, if it's pass or fail and the date, and then they only need to notify us if it's failed, and the initials of who tested it, was it one of our police officers or the county dispatch. And then the last,
Is the documentation gonna be an online versus paper document file?
it could be, because this is all electronic, so he could keep this electronic.
I didn't know that Greene County would be able to do the testing.
Yeah, according to
I think
them,
they can only, in an event of emergency, send it out, but I thought that's where we had a discussion that they wouldn't be doing the testing because they basically are in Bloomfield, and Bloomfield would be responsible for that. So.
well, I talked with the dispatch out there, and they said they could
Okay.
test it. And any reports and everything would be maintained by Kenny's office.
Yeah, I think it's important for the documentation, and we may be doing it now, I don't know, I doubt it.
I'm afraid you're
I mean,
right.
it's one thing to say, yeah, I tested it, if I can show on March 3rd, initialed that everything was fine, and that's what we need. Everybody's a lawyer today. But I would suggest
Just keep this.
any of the records be online, that way, just one less pile of paper that accumulates over the years.
Yeah. Any other questions about it?
I guess it's pretty pertinent time.
I've seen more Worthington, they test theirs once a week, every Wednesday. They came up last night on that on some posts that people were saying because of tornado sirens.
Well, I felt monthly would, well, like I stated earlier, Indianapolis, they test theirs every Friday at 11 o'clock. At least something is better than nothing, just to make sure that it's working, so.
And we could always change
We
it
can
down
always
the road.
amend it if we wanted to. Absolutely.
Weekly, I think weekly is definitely a little overkill, but
Yeah,
Yeah, that was Kenny's.
it just needs to work when it's needed, that's for sure. And I don't think it's any huge time consuming operation.
no,
I don't know exactly, but I'm guessing it's a push a button, hit a switch, or
Yeah.
click or something. and
They could do it either, I think, from their police car or from the town hall, from their office in
That
town hall.
new software and stuff, yeah, should be able to. Alright,
I'd make a motion that we approve the document as, this would be an ordinance, is that correct? This would be an ordinance for the testing of the sirens on a quarterly basis as stated in the document and documented with, as stated in closure 1 to the document.
I'll second that.
John made a motion to adopt this new plan, maintenance and protocol testing plan for the sirens. Dave seconded it, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? 3-0 pass. Our disaster plan.
Okay. Now this, I tried to, it's probably timely that we're having it this morning, but we could use, like last night as an example, that in the event that a tornado, if we would have had a tornado last night that had gone through and wiped out a large segment of the town of Bloomfield, that really created a catastrophic type disaster. That would require the council, that we would need to come together and, based off, once we got the assessment of the situation by Kenny and his guys, because they would already be dispatched out from dispatch, and the town street department may or may not have been until maybe afterwards. But the purpose of this would be to provide us a process in which the three of us, or the council would need to meet, get assessment of what the situation is, and then start making decisions if we need additional assets to help mitigate whatever the damage that's been done to the town and to the citizens. And it identifies the key offices within the county that we would need to contact and be in contact with as information comes in and help might be needed. It's basically just giving us a place to come to meet, to gain information as to what the status is, and to allow us to make decisions as a board.
Well, use last night at Linton as an example.
Yeah.
What would be our process then?
Okay,
I mean, that would be as good an example as we.
yes, if that was one of our buildings up here that bricks had fallen down, and we would probably be at the town hall right now, and we'd be having the street department, and the police would probably be telling us what kind of damage there is, instead of us trying to walk around and be in everyone's way trying to assess what the damage is. We would be either at the town hall or here.
So we're talking more like if last night we would be doing that now, today.
Yes. Yeah. Whenever the situation would allow. We wouldn't necessarily get out in the middle, right in the middle of the storm, because we might end up being right in the middle of it. But, we would need to, I'd say you're right, this morning we would be getting information and find out, was there any or anyone injured? What's the extent of the damage? Are there any, utilities that's been busted? When we have water leaks or anything? Do we need to cordon off any, those type of decisions that need to be made?
And all this is gonna be, it'll get blurred because, chances are if we're meeting like today and say last night, things happen, they're gonna need stuff, they're gonna have to call one of us, they're gonna make decisions, which is probably gonna be all right because we're gonna go forward with things. So things will blur. This is kind of giving us an outline, something more than anything,
Exactly.
but it's still giving us some guidance and.
But I'm sure the
procedure.
mayor was called at Linton sometime last night, as soon as someone, discovered that, because there was, I've seen pictures on Facebook, there's bricks all over the sidewalk, some out in the road. So his street department would need to be there and get the streets cleaned up. They need to block that area up so people's not walking underneath there.
Yeah, they had lots and lots of trees down there, I've heard over
Yeah.
there.
And,
So that would get, that would get Jason and his group
yeah.
involved.
And with the 3 different locations, again, based off of where the damage is, if it's right down through the town of Bloomfield for us, let's say, at the building right next to the town hall.
Well, just say it Aggies,
Yeah.
just like over there at Sportsman Pub.
We'd either come here or we'd go to the community building, which we probably need to talk about that after a while. But anyway, we've got 3 locations that we could physically go to and be able to discuss and take information. And then you look at the, initially we would want the town, make sure the town marshal, street department, and the fire department chief would need to be involved too. And Sandra would need to be, the treasurer would need to be there in case we're needing to start buying things to spend money. And we determined that we could contact our attorney telephonically, let him know the situation. And then down at the bottom are the county level departments that I'm sure they would already be aware, but we would want to start communicating with them. The sheriff's department, commissioner, department, emergency manager, and the county health nurse. So, again, this is just kind of the format that we could use in the event of a disaster that would be a significant or catastrophic type event here in Bloomfield. So. Any questions to this? I'd like to make a motion then that we would adopt this disaster operations plan as an ordinance for town of Bloomfield for the council to follow in the event of a disaster within the Bloomfield, town of Bloomfield.
I'll second that.
John made a motion to adopt or to vote on this disaster operations plan. Dave seconded it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 3-0 pass for adopting this disaster plan.
Yeah. Thank you.
2026 salary ordinance. I don't have a current one with me, but. Okay. about our salary ordinance here, so I'm about the raises, for everybody. Did you have any more information, Sandra, on, raise status or anything?
I'm sorry?
The raise status, did you have any more information on anything?
No, the last
Full
time I
numbers
heard
or
anything was December 2nd. So I haven't heard anything. I
Okay.
didn't type one because I had no clue what anybody
Oh,
wanted, so.
I thought we were doing one for the 3 and then 3.5 with the differences and stuff.
Yeah, nobody, yeah, well,
Alright.
So, I think we talked, we discussed at our last meeting, that I recall, there was like 3 options that we talked about, 3%, and then a 3.5%, and a 4% raise. And, but I don't think we ever settled, on, any, at that meeting. So, I know there's concern about, what our overall, town budget's going to be this year. Some there is some concern about, I think it's this property tax, where a large part of our revenue, comes. And so, I know last year we gave the employees a pretty good increase, raise, so. I guess I would make a motion to try and split the difference at 3.5%. And see where that goes.
Is that a motion?
I would like to see if you guys could offer Jennifer a little bit more, cause she's she's proved herself many times to me. But that's,
More than the 3.5%, if we,
and I've concluded, that I would take a pay cut to give her some of my percentage, if that be the case.
Well, let me amend my motion. I would make a motion that we go with a 3.5 for everyone except for Jennifer. We would give her a 4.5.
I'll second that.
John made a motion to raise the salary ordinance for everyone at 3.5%. Exemption for Jennifer, and she would be at 4.5%. Any discussion on that or anything else, or we're good? Alright, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, 3-0, pass, carries this for that, so.
I guess my only suggestion would be, and we talked about it, but we didn't finish what we had talked about, I guess. Move this process up a month. We need, instead of the last day of December, we need to do this at our December meeting.
Yeah, but Sandra, I think it'd be important to put that in our minutes, the minutes for this meeting, that I think we all agree that we need to do that the board, that needs to be on the November agenda so that we don't get here.
Well, everybody's busy, the whole month of December. Folks have taken time off, traveling, and we need to take care of it a month earlier. Be my suggestion.
Have it tidied up at the 1st of December, rather than end of December.
Some towns do it in June and July, so.
We could do it any time earlier, but we,
Oh, I
Almost every
I
year.
agree highly. I agree highly that it should be done, but it doesn't, but that's fine, yeah, I'll put it on the agenda and put it as old business if I have to.
And I guess what we're talking, it seemed like we, I don't know if it was us giving Jason authority to hire, part-timers for leave, but it seemed like we got behind about a week or so behind on getting out and getting the leaves. And of course, Mother Nature has to say to that, but I'm not sure when we gave him the authority to do that, but, it just seemed like we were late getting.
and I think part of it was Veterans Day was in there. Veteran is one of our holidays, right?
Yeah.
Cause I think, it seemed to be that Veterans Day was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Seems like we hired on Monday, or maybe we hired the previous Friday, maybe that's what it was, remember?
Yeah.
We need to move that, it just needs to be moved up a week. In my, again,
Yeah.
that'd be my opinion. And again, the year plays a little bit. The leaves gotta start coming down, we don't have to wait till they're all down.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
I've still got leaves on the trees, so it helps it.
Yeah, I would still, if that one tree of mine hadn't broken half and I had to cut it down, I'd still have green leaves out my front yard, I think, that was one of those, Bradford pear trees, and those leaves take forever to
That
drop.
pin oak,
Yeah, yeah,
do we wanna go ahead and do something with Laura? Do we wanna go ahead and approve that?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I talked to Laura, ran into her down at CVS, and quizzed her a little bit, told her her term was up the end of the month, end of December. See if she was interested in continuing on the park board. She said she would, so I would make a motion, we reappoint, I guess, Laura McIntosh to the park board for, I think they're 4-year terms.
I second that.
Dave made a motion to appoint Laura McIntosh for another term on the park board, and John seconded it, so all in favor, say aye. Aye. 3-0, carries.
Do we need to, do something for the pool,
It'll be in the January meeting.
in January?
Maybe as far as manager,
Yes.
I think we need to talk to probably the person we're
uh,
interested in.
Interested in it, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like, probably January would be a good time to get that started. Maybe it'll be 60 degrees again by then.
Okay. You brought up something about the sewer, or we got,
Well, I'll bring some more information, like I've told you, and I'll show you what I've kind of figured, what the increased revenue would be, so, yeah, I don't have it with me, but I think we probably need to, how long a process is that, Sandra?
It's
At
usually
the
about
January meeting, we start the process.
And it'll probably take about 2 to 3 months
Okay.
to get everything, 'cause it has to be legal advertisements and, special meetings and all that stuff, so.
And again, it's same deal, we talked about it now for 3 or 4 months. So, I guess if we start the process in January, it'll be April or May, probably before it could take effect, so. And again, that's revenue that we're or additional revenue that we would, I guess we're kinda looking for, so.
Other thing was insurance, I think, right?
Yeah, I know Sandra gave us some information about the current policy that we have out there now went up a little over 10%, I think. Went from like 68, I think I've got down here.
That policy doesn't expire till March.
Oh, so we got some time on it then, or, okay.
It all depends that, you know, I don't know what you guys decided or discussed about, you know, the employee insurance, if you're gonna keep it to just the employee only, or,
Okay.
cause
I
that's
thought
part,
we
that
had-
is part of the salary ordinance.
The current rate that we have, now correct me, Sandra, if I'm wrong here, but it shows, our monthly comparison, our current rate, these are our employees, so there we have 7 employees that we insure. I know Jennifer is not insured by the town.
Brian Lyford was not insured by the town because he had a different, military, and then I'm not insured with the town, so we have 7 employees, full-time employees that are insured right now.
So these are the people that's employed, and this is what each one of their current rate is for medical, $6,688.25, and now with the 10.7 increase, it's gonna go to $7,406.83, which is to almost 11%, 10.74.
Is that a month, or?
Yeah, that's a monthly rate, right?
Mhm. And right now, everybody's on a single plan. So if you guys decide to go with just when you hire just employee only, because you put a family plan on that, that's gonna be raising the dollar figure about $2,000 extra a month.
Per employee, is that right? Or
Yes.
per,
For an employee that has a family, it's gonna raise it about $2,000 a month. So that'll be about $9,000 a month for health insurance for the town. But right now, everybody's on a single plan, but, that's up to you guys, and that's part of the salary ordinance, so.
okay, so,
And that's what a lot of towns are doing nowadays, is just insuring the employee, because of the astronomical cost of all involved.
Do we presently, I know, I think I've asked the question, if our spouse is working somewhere else, are they required to get their insurance through?
It's not in any writing, it's just was verbally discussed, but it's not in any writing, we've not had anybody where the wife works where they put them on the plan also. But you know, there's places maybe sometime that people are either part-time or something like that where they can't get
let me
insurance.
see if I can find, I think I've got a copy of our. See how do we cover insurance now?
Yeah, right now, they're charged 17% of the policy amount.
Okay, health insurance. Town will pay 100% of eligible employee premium, accepting an amount in accordance with Indiana Code 5 and so forth. Employees responsible for 15% of a dependent's insurance premium. The 15% shall be paid by way of an employee payroll deduction within the town paying remainder of the premium. The employee will pay the first $2,000 as deductible per individual on the policy, and the town will pay the remainder of the deductible. Dental and vision insurance for employees and their dependents is paid by the town with the exception of that IC code again. Life insurance will be paid by the town. Do we have life insurance on the employees? when an employee becomes eligible for Medicare and begins Medicare coverage, that employee will no longer be covered by the town's health insurance. However, the town will reimburse the employee up to $300 a month towards the premium of the supplemental health that they may acquire when using Medicare. So, up here, it says right now, the employee is responsible for 15% of a dependent's insurance premium. So, that is where we could impact if we wanted to increase that 15%, or we change it to where the town will only cover the employee with our health insurance. So, and that 15% would be, it comes directly out of their payroll, so, that line sentence right there could, you know, we could adjust that to, the employer is responsible for 50 or 75% or 100% of dependents' insurance. And it's possible, I'm thinking out loud here, cause I'm definitely no insurance, but since this employee, let's say we change it to 100%, they might be able, since our employee is already covered by our insurance, they might be able to get a better deal, even though they're gonna pay 100% of their family. The insurance company may be able to give them a better deal since they're already insured by their company. I don't know that, if that would be the case or not, but right now we're telling them that if they wanna get a dependent, if they wanna insure their dependents, they only have to pay 15% of what the insurance premium is.
What would that percentage be from what? From what, the $2,000 or?
Yeah, it'd average probably about $75 a pay, $70 a pay.
If we did 50% or something?
And if you did 50%, that'd be a lot more than that. That's the 17%.
Oh, that's the 17, okay, or 15?
Yeah, 15 or 17, whichever it is. But like I said, right now, currently, everybody that's an employee that's eligible, has a single plan, so it's not affecting anybody that's already employed. So if we go with that, it'd be a great time to transfer that if you need to.
I mean, just hypothetical, if we ever wanted, if we said we wanted to do that, write it for a year, we get some employees that have family, they're not gonna have insurance anyway, right off the bat, or they don't take out a waiting period.
Mhm. And then you can always change it, but you know,
We change it back next year or whatever, I don't know. Excuse me. I'm at the same boat here, I guess, if we don't have anybody, just take it out, but at the same time, I don't want to exclude somebody. If they have a family that comes in and they have a wife that doesn't work, they don't have insurance, I wanna make sure that family's covered. If they're our employee, we need to be taking care of them, but somehow, or at least offer, insurance where it's affordable for them. That's our biggest thing in the country today is insurance.
That's all you hear about.
Well, one thing for sure, I think we need to do, include in here, thing number one would be that, if the town employee's spouse, cause it could be male or female, if their spouse works someplace and their workplace offers insurance, they are required, she is required to be be covered by that insurance, their insurance. I think that's,
And we can, if we ever wanted
That's
to
how
do
most-
that, and we can raise that to 30% or something.
That's how lots of businesses are today. I guess I'm uncomfortable without knowing what, if we say I definitely like what you just said, that needs to be in here. But if we decide we wanna continue offering, I wanna know if we move this to 30%, approximately what's that gonna be? If it's 50%, approximately. I'm uncomfortable keeping this and just throwing a percent and not have a clue.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know whether we need to sit back down, sometime in January.
and get,
Does this need, it's part of the ordinance.
You can always amend it in January or February after you guys discuss stuff.
I just think to me, because I wanna know, again, I definitely think we need that statement, what you
we
just
could add
said.
that in.
That
that
whether we wanna go with just employee, or whether we keep this and move that percentage up to something we're comfortable with. I'd like to know what that dollar is, what it's gonna cost, I guess in this case, the employee.
And that's, we have our insurance through First Security for the, or,
No, it's through Bloomington, Mays,
She said with that 15% split, $75 a paycheck.
something like that. That was just husband and wife on that plan. That'll be, put more on there, it's gonna be more kids and stuff like that, but that was just us,
yeah,
employee and spouse. That was just, or the employee was paying for the spouse.
so we definitely want to change it to, if the town employee spouse, works and their business where they work offers insurance, then he or she's required to be covered by that insurance and not our insurance.
Yeah.
And
I know there
I
have
don't
been
know that that's
instances,
ever happened, so, but it does need to be in there.
and this happened to me, where
It will someday.
Oh, that's what I
When
said.
The
you know.
town's gonna
Oh,
hire
definitely.
Kenny, I assume Kenny's looking for a police officer.
yeah,
I mean, I've not really talked to him about it. I don't know who he's looked at or if anybody, but
just hypothetical though, when I went through a divorce, it was ordered for me to carry insurance on the kids, or on Zane. So I don't know how that would work if we didn't have insurance offered at all. I'd have to probably go out of pocket somewhere, or we'd have to go back to court, something like that, but there's always those hypotheticals, but nothing currently.
well, so we probably need to get an insurance agent to talk to us and get an idea what a family policy that we currently have, if we,
Sandra may know that. We may not need somebody from Mays.
Yeah, I can get you figures on it.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't particularly wanna sit and listen to it.
well.
Yeah,
Insurance, they're gonna try to sell us on
something else.
3 other things.
I don't know, but this is a big deal, and that we need to,
I see that paper under that you've highlighted. That one, yeah.
Did we all get that? I'm sure we did, didn't
I
Yeah,
think
it's
so,
in your,
yeah.
probably in your box, all that stuff is. You see, your policies right now is gonna, even just the employee alone is $84,000 a year. That's what the town pays,
With the increase, with that
yeah.
10% or almost 11%.
So when you talk about adding families and adding wives and stuff like that, you know, that's a super cost to the town, so. You know, if you're, I don't know, you know, where you guys are looking for cuts, but that would probably be a big start there, you know what I mean?
And I think I'm right, with our new property tax, I'll call it reduction, however, whatever. But that was a 1-year deal, correct?
I think it trails into a couple. I'm
Okay, 'cause
thinking.
I don't think that is necessarily a permanent deal. It could be, but I think it is, I thought it was a 1-year, then they were gonna reassess.
I know somewhere I've got here where this AIM, I don't know if you guys get emails from this AIM
Yeah,
company, and
I
it's,
did block them.
yeah, there's a lot, I don't,
Got a lot, too many.
I did read one part about, this Senate Bill 1, and it talks in there where towns and municipalities need to start looking for different, alternative revenue streams. Well, we don't have a plethora of revenue streams that we can decide whether we wanna add to or not. That's where that, what you're talking about with the wastewater or sewage increase, could really benefit that, I think. But, you know, I know Sandra has real concerns, I think, with this upcoming, what'd you say our budget was set this year?
But the difference between 25 general fund and my 26 general fund, it's $200,000. $200,000 difference.
I got a question here. These rates are they associated with their ages? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah, your rates are associated with your ages, all besides the females. It doesn't matter if a female's 6 months old or 25, you pay a high rate for females. Yeah, it all depends. The older you are, the higher your insurance is because of your health is, you know. You're gonna usually you're using your insurance a lot more whenever you get older, so they keep increasing that.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, I suggest we get back together, or at least I feel I need to get some more information, and then we can proceed with the
Yeah, but that.
insurance part.
Yeah, we can't leave that like it is right now, the 15%. We've got should we decide to offer something, that's gonna have to increase, or we take the sentence out and just leave the,
And I think we're gonna have to look down the road. I'm not sure I know anywhere where the employee pays 0 for their insurance anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, they pay $1, which a lot of towns still do that.
That they're just paying $1 and that.
Well, all your schools used to do that, but again, nobody does now. They're paying something.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know about towns, but I think that's something that's, again, another thing to look at down the road somewhere.
Oh yeah, well I can put it as old business, not in January meeting, cause we won't have that information. But I'll be putting it on the February, cause I do believe it does need to be addressed.
You know, one way to look at this, which my guess is that these individuals, these employees, don't really, they may not even be aware of this or appreciate the fact that if we, instead of them paying $1, it could be costing them this much per month out of their paycheck.
Or something.
Yeah,
I-
this is already a benefit that they're receiving, and which is a,
And I know the county, that's how they do too. I mean, everybody says we wanna match the county's payroll or deputy's payroll. But back in '82, the county was paying over $200 a month for for their insurance,
The
taking out their
employee-
paycheck.
Employees were?
Yeah, for a family plan. It's $200 a month, and if it was, you know, just your spouse, it was a little bit less, and an individual, I think they paid, I don't know, like $60 a pay, you know what I mean, so. But, and then, of course, that was in the 80s, I have no clue, I can call the county auditor and ask her what their
I know that
deduction
when I worked for
was.
the county in Monroe County, I had to pay, it was like $230 a paycheck for insurance.
Yeah, I think out of work, they would tell us that we were responsible for approximately 10% of the premium.
Mhm. Yeah, which would be pretty fair,
And that's,
you know, cause that would be, that would average, you know, like for probably Kenny, probably be $90 a pay for Kenny. I think last I looked, his was right at $1,800 a month. You know, different for all the
Yeah.
people, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's, again, I think that's something, I don't think I'd be interested. That's something if we would ever decide we wanna do that, that's gotta be just, that's one of those decisions that's gotta be made early where folks can start thinking about it instead of December 29th and in January, I gotta start paying whatever it is, $90, $100, or, you know, type deal. It's just, but that's probably something to think about down the road after we do this.
Yeah, after we redo this,
I'm
we'll
not thinking-
probably have a meeting with the other guys and say, you know, later next year, it could change, and then kinda give them that year to absorb it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe have
that's
some
just,
scenarios of what it might
that's,
be though.
that's something down the road. I'm not in favor of doing any of that here for 26, but something as we're looking at cost savings or trims, that could be one down the road.
Okay. That's all I have on this.
I don't think I got anything else. Are we ready to adjourn? I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.